We've talked about a lot of topics over the years. We've talked a lot of topics today. One of our interactions recently was over Twitter. It surprised me. We were talking about QuickBooks. There was discussion on Twitter, and you popped in and mentioned that Fitbit was actually running what most of us think of as a small business accounting software through $300 million in revenue. Why were you guys on QuickBooks for so long?
We were on QuickBooks for so long because maybe not surprisingly to a lot of small business owners, QuickBooks is actually really intuitive to use, so that's how we started. And then our business grew so rapidly. We went from 15 million in revenue to 75 million in revenue to 300 million in revenue, literally over 2 to 3 years. So that's barely enough time to actually switch accounting and financial systems. When we started thinking about it, it was partly through that process, and as many, some businesses do, we had a failed ERP implementation in the middle of that. So we ended up switching to NetSuite right when QuickBooks was on its last leg. So we were very fortunate. And then NetSuite took us from about 300 million to 2 billion in revenue, and then we switched to SAP afterwards. But I have to say that ERP and financial software doesn't get easier to use as these packages get more expensive. It's really strange.
So aside from QuickBooks, what do you think you'll miss most about being the CEO of a startup?
The quick answer that comes to mind is the one thing I won't miss is all of our quarterly earnings calls. And, investors do say that they're long-term focused, but I think long-term is very relative. I remember at our IPO, I had so many investors wanting to buy shares at the IPO and get in. It's like they kept saying, we're very long-term focused. And I was like, okay. And then I'd see them sell literally a day after we went public. So I won't miss that aspect of running a public company.